When they came for people of color, you said nothing. When they came for immigrants, you said nothing. When they came for gay people, you said nothing. When they came for trans people, you said nothing. When they came for women, you said nothing. When they came for children, you said nothing. But now that it's finally affecting your friends, your family, yourself, your husband, now you want to say something? Because
Latino people, I need you front and center. I'm seeing a lot of you on my FYP and Beyonce's internet crying and boo-hoo talking about you wish you could take your vote back. You thought being racist to other Latino people and black people was gonna make you appear to be white. You are craving the attention of white people so bad, you are forgetting about your own people. It doesn't matter how light you are, you ain't white. I want you to take a moment and read the book, Defector, The Rise of the Latino.
Hello everyone. Now, we've seen white MAGA women and Latinos for Trump calling out black people to come and help them solve the mess they created for themselves. These are the same people who went to elect Donald Trump. It is barely 2 weeks since Donald Trump was sworn into power. Now, they are now calling out black people to help them solve out the problems they have, deportation, and so many other things. So let's watch this video, then have a quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Like, I was all for fucking Trump, dude. I was all for Trump. And then hearing this whole fucking thing of, like... So, yes, I have my kid's dad on child support, okay? I get $200 a month for both of them, okay? What is $200 going to do in California? Nothing. But it is what it is. I don't care. It's something. It's, like, something for me to take the boys out and do something fun since I can't do it on my own. Now, with Trump passing the law that if your kid's on if you put your baby dad on child support, they're going to be getting the money from the child, like for child tax. How the fuck does that work? How does that work, dude? I'm literally the one that takes care of them 24/7, have for the past 10 years. How can he file and get all the fucking money when I'm the one taking care of them? He's been MIA for like 7 months. What?
I love this for you. I do. I love this for you so much. Because we fucking told you so. What makes you think a man with 5 kids by 3 different women cares about women? When black women were telling you, don't vote for this man because it's going to hurt y'all, you didn't listen. You took your ass down to the voting booth and said, I'm going to vote for this man. And now that's by you in the ass, you on this app crying. But we told you so. I have a theory that will help women in your situation. But good luck with that.
So you were all in for Trump, okay? The man who tried to overturn democracy, the man who is a convicted felon, the man who was found liable for rape, the man who has made it clear that he sees women as nothing more than objects, the man who has caused so much division and hate in this country and encourages hate crimes against black people, brown people, LGBTQ people, Asian people, just anybody who isn't a straight white Christian male. But you was all in with him for that. The man who sent a mob to the Capitol to hang his own vice president. The man who then decided to pardon those people, who decided to pardon people who belong to supremacist groups. You were still all in. None of that was a deal breaker for you. But now you're on here crying, like literally crying. Y'all got to go watch that video. Crying about him saying if you get child support, the parent who pays child support gets to file the taxes on the kids. You're crying over earned income credit and child tax credit. You didn't give a crap about anybody else's life and what other people were being put through under the Trump administration. You didn't give a crap. But now you care over a tax credit. This is why I can't never come together with y'all. This is why I can't never put aside differences and work with you guys. Because this isn't politics. This is about humanity. And people like you have no humanity whatsoever. All you care about is yourself. If it doesn't affect you, you don't give a crap. And with that being said, I hope you owe taxes every single year.
And this is what we call reaching personal rock bottoms via what you wrongly believed or were taught. We're going to see a whole lot more people from both of the political party supporters, red and blue, going through the same journey. And just like someone who is in recovery for drug or alcohol addiction, you owe a lot of people apologies too. Then once you do all your apology tour, it's time to get on the actual progressive and make this FASCIST machine stop train. Well, assuming that we even can at this point anymore, because of all the people who have been BRAIN washed into a cognitive dissonance and still are. Welcome to reality. It sucks here.
I feel really bad. Is something I would say if we didn't fucking warn you for the last 9 years? Really?
Because obviously you can't have any empathy, unless it actually affects you. You keep saying that leftists are too emotional, they're snowflakes, that they have too much emotion for people. Have you ever thought about the fact that maybe you just don't know what empathy is? Maybe it's because you've never been loved in your life, so you don't know how to have compassion for other people. Maybe the radicalized people, the people who are too woke, maybe they just have kindness in their hearts.
Let's try a little thought experiment. Who do you think is a bigger problem in the United States? Illegal immigrants and gay people, or billionaires not paying taxes, corporations price gouging us so we can't afford food, and investment firms buying single-family homes so that they price us out of being able to buy a home? Which one do you think is the bigger problem? I'm so confused how the top 1% in the country convinced poor people that other poor people are their biggest problem.
Listen, I'm not a ace or a dime myself, so I don't like to come for other women's physical appearance, but I'm telling you right now, something about the quality of MAGA women's hearts makes them age like spoiled milk. Carolyn Levitt, that new press secretary, she's 27 years old. Good for her for girl bossing it into the White House, which is a job, according to her own faith, that she shouldn't even be holding. Make that one make sense. And Laura Loomer being 31, don't even get me started. Ugh. Pretty hearts just age more gracefully, and you can see it on full display.
If one Social Security payment is missed, and I mean just one round of Social Security payments, if it does not hit bank accounts when it is supposed to, we will be in a very interesting place in this country. You don't f with the money. Elon Musk is f***ing with the money. And he's about to find out what happens when you f*** with the money.
So I just found out that Coca-Cola was working with immigration and they reported their own employees to immigration so they would get deported. Is that right, Coca-Cola? That's what you did? All right. Goodbye to you, motherfuckers. Pepsi it is. Pepsi drinker from here.
Trump just revoked the sensitive locations policy, which was a policy that prevented ICE from doing arrests and deportations in sensitive locations like hospitals and schools. So let's just talk about what that means, right? It means that this Trump administration and all of you who voted for him do not give a shit if people die because of their citizenship status. Protect life, who, where, not you guys. No, you want people to be afraid to access healthcare that they need because of their citizenship status. So f***ed up. You are fine with them dying of treatable and preventable causes because of their citizenship status. Disgusting. And many of you claim to be righteous Christians, and that is why you voted for Trump and the Republican Party. So just ask yourself, just think about what Jesus would say if he was like, we have to heal the sick. And you're like, wait, but they're not citizens here. So no. Come on. And then schools. So in other words, children who will be afraid to go to school, afraid to access all of that
opportunity that the US has to offer because of their citizenship status, which is arguably not their fault and not their choice.
Now, this is the first we've seen in almost a decade. So this boomer MAGA voter recorded himself showing how remorseful he is about voting for Donald Trump. He said, and I quote, "Voting for him is the worst decision I've ever made." Like, really? Take a look at this.
All I can say, I was a dumbass, voted for Trump only because of my beliefs. People around me encouraged it. I can think for myself, yes. But I felt at the time that was the better choice. Now I'm looking at it with everything going on. It was the worst decision I ever made. I wanted not to vote. But people said you won't be able to have a say in anything if you don't vote. I totally regret this. I shouldn't have voted at all.
This person stated in the comment section of the video, did he just say he shouldn't have voted at all? He didn't learn a damn thing. For real. This other person said, F him. F-A-F-O now, buddy. This person said, we tried to tell them, but eggs were too high. Too late. Finally, this person stated, not one lie spoken. You people that voted this comeback back in office are effing stupid as hell.
If you voted for Trump, I hope that all of the bad things that you wish for other people or that this administration intends to do to other people boomerangs back onto you, lands on you, your head, and all of your loved ones that voted for this as well, and has an insurmountable impact on your entire lineage for generations to come. And so it is.
So crisis averted. Canada and Mexico both have reprieves from tariffs. And I am just wondering if all those people on the right who for the last week or two have been telling us that tariffs are going to make us the richest, greatest country ever because they're this amazing thing for our economy, how it will inject $1 trillion a year into our economy, all the ways they were selling the tariffs as being this super important thing that we must do. But suddenly we must not. It's apparently they're not that important. And there's another thing that happened that might have had something to do with the tariffs. Yeah, this is what happened right before the deal was struck with Mexico and before the deal was struck with Canada. OPEC Plus said, no, we're not lowering oil prices. Funny how that worked, huh? Yeah.
Dylan Harrington, nicknamed Maga Lumberjack, a January 6 rioter who assaulted a police officer, is now charged with assaulting a woman. His trial is scheduled for June.
Those sweeping pardons were revisiting the cases of some local January 6 rioters caught on camera attacking police. One even earning the nickname the Maga Lumberjack. Dylan Harrington was seen throwing a 4x4 piece of lumber at Capitol Police. He's not in federal prison, but right here in the Limestone County Jail, where he's headed to trial for rape on June 23rd. Now, he's accused of raping a woman while she was drunk and could not give consent. Harrington already pleaded guilty to assaulting, resisting, or impeding officers related to the Capitol riot. He was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison, along with 3 years of supervised release. But he's being held without bond on his charge.
This person stated in the comment section of the video, the felon unleashed dangerous criminals into our country. This other person said, another day, another MAGA RAPIST, birds of a feather. This person said, of course, wonderful people, those cults, you know what.
If no one's going to say it, I'll say it. If it takes you being personally affected by what is going on in this country, if it takes you, a white person, I can assume, if it takes you being personally affected by what's going on in the country right now to start paying attention, I'm sorry, but we're not the same. I'm sorry. We do not share the same morals. We do not share empathy If we do not share a table, you do not get my ear, my eyes, or my motherfucking attention. If it takes you being personally affected to give a shit that families are being ripped apart, that trans people are being denied existence, that equal rights initiatives are being taken away, if it takes you being personally affected and your gas prices going up and your egg prices going up and now you're mad, hi, welcome to the conversation. But we are not the same. Let's just draw that line in the sand really quick. You and me, not the same, not friends, not peers, not equals. Welcome to the revolution, but back of the line.
I'm in San Juan, Puerto Rico right now, and I just ordered at a local restaurant, and I got a Modelo, and this local dude was like, "Is that a Modelo? That's an extra 25%. He smiled. I was like, I know, I am so sorry. I did not vote for that guy. Everywhere I go, people look at me, and I feel this need to tell them, that's not my fault. I'm not supporting that guy. I didn't vote for him. I'm sorry." It's embarrassing to be an American right now.
Some FAFO stores, because that is basically the only thing that is keeping me going right now. So there's nothing more I love than f***ing around and finding out. So we have some family members who recently, this past year, switched to Obamacare, and they switched to Obamacare even though they had previously said that he was a Muslim and a communist and that his healthcare plan sucked. But they switched to it because they were doing this Christian healthcare plan in which everyone pays in and everyone gets the same amount. And the guy was like, it's not fair that someone who's making a bunch of money has to pay the same for their health insurance as I do when I don't make a bunch of money. And it's like, oh damn, but you're so close. You're so close, you're right there. Anyways, so they switched to Obamacare, and now it's looking like with all these executive orders and things, there are talks of people losing that health care and them not being qualified if they signed up for it in the past year, which they have signed up for it in the past year. And aren't we just so sad for them? So sad. But it's almost like you f***ed around and now you're finding out.
And prepare to be as angry as I was reading it. This article was written by J.P. Green, Ph.D., a senior research fellow at the Heritage Foundation, and Lindsay Burke, Ph.D., director of the Center for Education Policy, also at the Heritage Foundation. And let's not forget, the Heritage Foundation is the think tank responsible for developing Project 2025. Now, this lovely piece of work is talking about how they can restore fertility rates in America because we want to boost the population, right? They really want people to have families and have more children and do it at a younger age. And here's how they plan to go about doing that. They say we need to consider how existing government programs may be suppressing fertility rates and how reforming or eliminating those programs could make a significant difference. I was quite shocked to find out that those government programs that they were talking about are education, higher education to be exact. So here the article states people are more likely to have children if they start having families earlier and if they have religious convictions that make them think differently about the costs and benefits of raising children. And yet, current education policies push people to delay having families until they are much older and impose barriers to accessing religious education, both of which significantly reduce fertility rates. Oh yeah, that was the second thing, access to religious education. They say U.S. higher education policies provide enormous incentives for more people to attend universities, take longer to complete their degrees, select degrees with negative returns on investment, and pursue advanced degrees at much higher rates than if we did not have such programs. In particular, highly subsidized student loans encourage more people to enroll and remain in higher education longer than they would if they fully bore the cost of their schooling. You know, I just think this is one of the many reasons they want to dismantle the Department of Education, because among the other things that the Department of Education does, it administers federal student loan programs and federal student aid. Yeah, those things. Oh, and they say education policy also suppresses fertility by discouraging parents from choosing religious education in K through 12 schools. Children who receive a religious education, they're more likely to hold stronger religious beliefs when they grow up. And adults who are more strongly attached to religion tend to have many more children, and that is the point. And they say religious something appears to encourage fertility by altering the cost-benefit calculations of having children. See, religious people see stronger benefits in having children and are less bothered by its expense, allowing religious parents more easily to redirect their limited funds away from other types of consumption and toward larger families, because that's what we want. More young people going into greater debt just to have larger families for the United States of America. But here's a real kicker. They ended the article with this statement. Just as the best way to stop getting deeper in a hole is to stop digging, the best way to promote fertility is to stop the government programs that discourage having babies. The first two policies we could discontinue are those that push people to remain in school longer than they otherwise would, and those that burden religious beliefs that make having babies more likely. So let's push these young women into families and marriages when they're very young. And we don't want them to continue going to college to get higher education and degrees and to learn how to fend for themselves and take care of themselves and learn what it is to be an independent woman and know that you don't need a man in your life. I don't want to need a man that I cannot survive without. I want to be able to survive without a man, but choose to have a man in my life because I don't want to live without them. Those are two very different things. And that is what I think many young people are realizing today. And I am all for it.
I just want to be clear about this. Sending an invading army into the Holy Land on a path of conquest is literal antichrist shit. Like, this is anti-Christ. Like, this is Book of Revelations. Okay? Battle of Armageddon and antichrist bullshit. Dude, this is straight up he checked off every fucking book, and not one of these fucking Baptist fucking big strong fucking preachers wanted to get up and be like, oh yeah, no, this man is the fucking Antichrist. He is going to do a ethnic cleansing. He said that we are going to occupy and invade that place because, quote, it's not safe enough for the people there. So those people gotta leave because there's too many bombs laying around. He said it while standing next to the dude who dropped all the bombs. And that dude was smiling ear to ear as he listened to President Demon just be like, yeah, we're gonna send the military in there and we're gonna rebuild it. We're gonna dig. It's on the water. Beachfront the land's great. It's the people who are terrible. This will fix everything. Everybody in the Middle East agrees with me. Oh yeah, but you think everyone there's buddy. I just so many people told me that they voted for him because he was anti-war, and he's about to kick off fucking Armageddon, dude. So fucking end times. Holy you know what? Enjoy this Super Bowl party this weekend, y'all, because it might be the last one.
This pro-Trump supporter, a Maga at that, narrated a story of her not being hired because she's Maga. Take a listen and let me know down in the comments if you believe her story.
Y'all ready for a good laugh? Buckle up, bitches. Backstory. I always have my stuff up on Indeed because, listen, I'm smart. If the right opportunity comes, I will take it, okay? Because you just never know. And I would be a great asset to any company if they're paying the right money. You know what I mean? Not to mention I have a degree in things. So, I mean, why not? Why not have it up there? So every now and then companies will reach out and be like, hey, well, we're interested. So this one reached out to me and they were like, hey, I'm interested, blah, blah, blah. Will you apply? This was like a week ago. I was like, all right, whatever. And they were offering a really good amount of money. So I was like, okay, all right. And it was remote. So Okay. So I went ahead and applied. I got an email today. Buckle up. Buckle the up. I didn't even know that they would go and look for my social media. Now, I first want to tell you, they asked me to send a video, okay? So I did like this whole video interview, it wasn't even an interview, a video introduction of myself. It had to be 4 to 6 minutes long. I nailed it. Because after that, they even wrote me back an email being like, oh, blah, blah, we're moving on to the next steps. Anyways, I got an email today. Let me just show it to you. Dear Melinda, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to extend my gratitude for your interest in the social media manager role. I'm not going to tell you the company because I'm scared I'm going to get sued. I ain't about that. It was a pleasure to learn more about your impressive background and expertise in marketing, and we want to thank you for your service to our country. Oh, okay. Well, let's see where this is going. Your skills and experiences stood out to us, and we truly believe that your marketing acumen could have been a significant asset to our team. Okay, could have been. So then I'm like, oh, what more do we have here? Let me see. However, after careful consideration, we have decided to move forward with another candidate for this position. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm not out here like need and want, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay. I'm all right. But it goes on, okay? Okay, listen, buckle up. During our review process, we came across some of your public social media posts that express political views. Okay, so you went on my TikTok. Okay, tell me more. Come on, I want to know more. Okay, while we respect your right to express yourself, we have chosen to prioritize a candidate whose online presence aligns more closely with our company's public image and values. Okay, so you ain't a MAGA. Just say it, baby. Just say it. For future opportunities, especially in a high-paying marketing role, we highly recommend reviewing and possibly refining your social media presence to ensure it aligns with the expectations of potential employers.
Now, we've seen MAGA women, we've seen Latinos, Arabs for Trump. They're all breaking and freaking out. Now, these are individuals who at one point couldn't be told anything. These are people who, when black people were facing some atrocities, when black people were facing deportation claims, when black immigrants were actually on the verge of being deported, even those with green cards, the Latinos, the MAGA women, they never talked. But they are now coming out. They want their problem to be everyone's problem. Now, there is a story, I remind you. Now, it's a story of the parrot that when the parrot's neighbors were having problems, the parrot said, it is not my problem. And when the parrot was actually having a problem, the parrot thought her problem was everyone's problem. Now, the revised psychology of the story is when the parrot was having a problem, when the parrot was making noise and disturbing people and going around disrupting the peace of everyone, the neighbors assumed it was not their problem. But when the problem came, when they came to burn the parrot's house, then the neighborhood had a problem because their houses were burning too. So this story actually relates with whatever is happening, the FAFA and the MAGA thing happening in the US, where the women for Trump, white women for Trump, are now crying out for help. The same Latinos who said 61% of the Latinos won't vote any black person in the US, they are going to vote for Trump and his policies. They are now crying out. My question still remains. These are the same people who went and read the manifesto. They read the policies that Trump was bringing in. They read and they know everything that was going to happen. But they thought voting Trump will bring them to the white proximity, that voting Trump will actually bring them or will actually elevate them to some kind of whiteness, that they'll be close to white people. But here is Trump. Trump doesn't care. Trump has come out and is deporting every and each Latino that is not well documented. My question still remains, if Trump is deporting black, is deporting Latinos, he has deported the Hispanics, he has deported Venezuelans, Mexicans. Now, these are the same people who are in the who voted in the election. How do you know a person by his name and where he comes from if he doesn't have the documentations? How do you know a person that well that you even deport them to their exact cities in their countries? The same people who voted in this country, how did they vote? So there are so many questions to be asked with the deportation thing, and this is why we are seeing them crying out. But they want their problem to be everyone else's problem. And when other groups who are facing problems, like I'm talking about the black immigrants who are facing problems in the US, the Latinos never spoke. When other groups of people are facing problems in the US, no one spoke. But when they are facing their problem, they want everyone to be involved. They want all the black community to come together to help them solve their problem with Donald Trump. The same people who voted Donald Trump are the same people now they want those Democrats to come and help them with a problem that they brought to themselves. Now, this is the funniest part of it, that Latinos are now calling each other. They are now saying, you know what, we voted him because of our parents. We voted him because of the influence we had from this and that person. But the same Latinos who are making viral videos some 3 months ago, some 4 months ago, saying how much Donald Trump is going to get rid of illegal immigrants, black immigrants, that the black immigrants who have come snatch out their jobs, the black immigrants who have caused chaos in the US are now going to be got rid of by Donald Trump. Now, you now know as much as I know that these black immigrants are the ones staying and the Latinos are the one being deported. Now, they are crying out to the same blacks who they opposed some 3-4 months ago to come and help them solve a problem that they brought to themselves. This is very weird, very, very weird. And this is why I keep on saying that we as black people, no one wants us. That's the truth. Even the Latinos do not want black people. So many groups of other people do not want to be associated with black people. But they do want black people to chip in whenever they have a problem. They do want black people when they are not in their best moments. So this is why I do say it's black for blacks, that we black people can only unite with other black people to be so much strong. If we want to survive the atrocious actions that are happening, if we want to survive the disastrous actions that are being held by different regimes in the world to depress and to deprive the black people of their own unity and their own peace, this is the time to unite. Unite with your brothers and sisters wherever they are. That the Latinos are only calling out black people to unite with black people because they have a problem. So they want, when they have a problem, the black people to chip in and call out the government they elected to stop doing whatever they are doing. This is very crazy. And this is why we say, we as black people, we are going to unite. And any black person who doesn't want to unite will suffer their own consequences. Now, I have talked about Malcolm X. Malcolm X talked about black unity. I talk about leaders in Africa who talk about black unity. I talk of so many other channels that are discussing black unity. And the call is, let's unite. Let's talk one language, the one language of unity. And when we do this, all these other groups will respect us. They don't respect us because, you know what? Black people do not want each other. That black people only unite with a friend because they are actually in need and they need a friend who can help them. They're actually in a very big trouble. We do not want to be uniting when we have problems. We want to unite and solve problems in unity. Not that when we have a problem is when we are going to look for a friend. So this is very weird to talk of a topic of which this Latino, of which the Maga women brought to themselves. This is a problem they brought to themselves. This is not a black problem. So I'll tell you, black people, I'll tell you all that if this problem is not yours, keep off. Do not solve problems that are not yours because you're gonna get yourself into problems. No one wants you. And after helping the Latinos to solve out their mess, they're gonna leave you in the same mess, and Donald Trump gonna come for you. So if you have the right documentation, continue doing whatever you've been doing all this time. Leave alone the Latinos, Hispanic, and all the Mexicans, Venezuelans to solve out their problems. Leave the white MAGA women who actually were making jokes, were making chants of black people in the last 3-4 months that black people are gonna fail with Kamala Harris. So leave them alone. Leave them. Let them suffer the consequences they brought to themselves. So this is a call out. I'm calling out every black person watching this video. Stay out of your lane. Stay on your lane. Leave alone. Those fighting their wars, leave their wars up to them. If it's not your war or a war of a black person, leave it. I'm not talking about division, but I'm talking about the reality. If you are old enough, if you're wise enough, you know whatever I'm talking about. I'm talking about of something that has been happening, that the Hispanics, that the Latinos, that Mexicans, white women have always stood for each other, and they have never stood for black people. When black people have been facing atrocious activities, atrocious actions in the US, who was there to talk for them? No one. So this is the time, you black people, keep off your lane, keep on your lane. Do not cross to the other person's lane. Don't solve problems that are not yours. Thank you so much for having taken the time to watch this video. I appreciate so much. If it's the first time on this channel, please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing the video. Thank you so much.